Welcome to the Geek Easy Fellow Geeks. Let's open a beverage of your choice because it's Friday and it's time for another episode of Frightful Fridays. And today's movie is Terrifier 3. That's why I'm a little bit later in getting this done, because I went and saw the 10:30 showing. Okay, let me give you the kind of basic gist of this. You have Terrifier 2, you have the hero and her brother run into Art the Clown, and it turns out that she is kind of a force for good, and something that her father gave her, a sword, and she loses her mother and some other people, some friends, in the fight against Art, because the younger brother was a kind of a serial killer, devotee, fan, all that, and he was loved reading about the clown and all that. They don't do it. So this one takes place 5 years after the last movie. You have she is in an asylum. The younger brother is at college, and the beginning of the movie, it shows Art breaking into a house as Santa and just wipes out the family. Then you see the woman being released on, I guess, a pass or something to her uncle, her mother's sister's husband, to go home for Christmas. And they get there, and her cousin, younger cousin, is just this little bundle of energy who just looked up to her older cousin, and it was like they say this a couple times, from the way she was before this, and now even with this, follows her around like a puppy dog. So in this movie, you're watching what's going on with her and her family, trying to deal with everything, and then you see what's going on with Art and I cannot remember the woman's name, the one with the messed up face from the other two movies, who he's traveling with in this movie. You see what's going on with them, and this whole really cool section in a bar where you find out where Art gets the Santa costume, and it deals with Clint Howard. It's going to be a great movie if it's got Clint Howard in it. And then you tell that everything is just going to come together at the end, and it does. Wow, this movie just... Two things with this movie. It gives you a little bit more about the history of the lore of this, in some sense, as to on her side. And just a tiny bit on his, but it doesn't really still tell where Art is from or anything like that, or who he is. But you also just get to see a little bit of time of just normalcy with the family before shit blows up. And oh my God, this thing is, you hear stories about how this movie has made people walk out. You made people sick. They took the violence in this thing. They went balls out, literally and figuratively in this one. It was pretty violent. I can sort of see why they went in France. They gave it their equivalent of NC-17. It just basically said nobody under this age is going. The kills in this thing are fairly spectacular. Pretty brutal. And in fact, actually at the end, the final fight at the end, they didn't make it easy, and I know a couple people, I actually saw a couple people walk out. And I'm not sure if it was because of the violence, but I'm pretty sure it was. But, you know, there was some stuff in there where you're just like, holy shit, it was brutal. And of course there was just some pretty funny parts too. With the younger brother and his roommate at college, and that guy's girlfriend. So it just moves the story forward to the less magical element in this one as opposed to the last one. It gets more down to the basics, moves the thing forward, connects everything from the first two movies into this one, and sets up for the fourth one, because I've heard the number 4 is greenlit already. And if that's going to happen, it's probably going to be even more brutal than this one, which is kind of hard to imagine. So, if you're squeamish, I do not recommend this movie. But if you like, the acting is good, the humor is good, the kills are really good and brutal. Everything you pretty much want in a slasher movie. So I'm going to give this a 4.5 out of 5. And just say, go. If you have a weak stomach, don't eat anything first. But if you're a fan of the other two movies, you'll like this one. And so, 4.5 out of 5. And any theater, I recommend catching it on the big screen. And anyway, let me know if you saw it, what you thought of it. Like, subscribe, possibly share, and enjoy your horror movies.